So who are your biggest disappointments so far this year?
You know, I got to lead with the disappointments. Jeff Gordon. He has let me down immensely. Conversely to the Casey Kane pick, I picked Jeff Gordon to finish second in points. I figured the crew changes at Hendrick Motorsports were going to fit him the best. He was clicking with Alan Gustafson right off the bat, you know, as opposed to Dale Earnhardt Jr. He seemed to kind of have a, you know, that awkward, you know, I'm with Steve Letarte because they made me, you know, that kind of intermingling that just didn't look good, and it's paying off apparently. It's a very professional relationship apparently. You know, Gordon got that win, second race of the year. Again, I did a little celebration there thinking that I'm a genius. You know, I made this good pick, and then he's just kind of nosedived from there.
Well, folks, you shouldn't be that low in the point standings if you win a race. Especially 5 races in. 5 races in,
yeah,
be that low.
5 races in, he's got the win. That's about all he's done. You know, he's run into some, you know, troubles out there, but this is a 3-time champion out there, and he should be getting the job done, and he's just not. We got Denny Hamlin coming up second here. I battled with Greg on this one. Greg picked him, you know, a little higher than me in the points. I picked him 6th. Right now he sits 21st. You know, he's got 1 top 10. He's been plagued by some engine troubles, but I really think last year, flash in the pan.
So you really think this problem is actually Denny Hamlin, not an equipment issue?
I want to say both at this point. You know, Joey Logano is also facing the same kind of equipment problems. Kyle Busch is getting around that by just flat out dominating.
Well, the fact is we don't like Kyle Busch, but he's getting around it. He's finding a way.
Yeah, he's finding a way to fight through the adversity there. You know, and honestly, I think that last year is going to get to Hamlin's head. He's going to think that he's better than he is, and he's going to drive, you know, harder into the corners, and he's frankly going to run out of talent a lot of times, and that's going to bite him.
Yeah.
Rounding out the disappointments here, Brian Vickers. You know, he didn't race most last year. He had the blood clot problems. You know, and I expected him to, you know, that to really, you know, get him going for this year. Want to prove something that he can get it done. And he's been running up front. The problem is he's been caught up in some crashes. He's sitting 24th in points. He's got 2 top 10s. Out of 3 races, you know, that goes to show you that he's either, you know, seeing the checkers or, you know, finding the wreckers, for lack of a better term there.
Yeah. And a lot of that could be bad luck, but I mean, as the season progresses, we'll probably see if it's bad luck or if it's just, you know, Brian Vickers being not putting himself in the proper position to finish high up in the race.
Yeah, that's the key. If you're up front, you're going to avoid a lot of those crashes.
Yeah.
If you're middle of the pack, you're sitting duck.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And really, like, if he's the one, you know, it's the aggression. If he's too aggressive, you could see him wrecking more. And
right, if he really gets to a point where he tries too hard, that could lead to trouble.
Right.
I also do have to take a second out. I apologize to you, Jeff Gordon. You're a 4-time champion. I said 3, so I noted that. I apologize.
But I'm very impressed that you caught yourself with that. So anyway, our last race was at Fontana in California. Did you have any thoughts on that race and how that race played out?
You know, if I have one word for that race, misleading.
No, that's right. For those of you who don't know, Kevin Harvick made a pass on the very last lap. At the end of the last lap, led for roughly, what was it, maybe 400 yards?
Yeah.
And won the race.
So the problem I have with that is NASCAR, the TV folks, are all going to grab onto that. They're going to grab onto those last 5 laps that, you know, you had Kyle Busch leading, you had Jimmy Johnson chasing him down, you have Johnson take the lead, then you have Kevin Harvick come seemingly out of nowhere and win the race on him. And they're going to hold on to that. That track is terrible. It is very boring racing. You know, you can say it's exciting because they actually have room to go 3 wide.
And now that's his point, is they're going to say this race, as Mike will cover in a minute, is boring, but what NASCAR is going to come back and counter with is, no, this race is exciting, we had a last lap pass and a winner.
Did you see that finish?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what they're going to go for.
Now, obviously the finish is, you know, what, 1% of the race. How many times do you have a football game where it's a great last play of the game and the rest of the game is nothing but punts? It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah, it could be a 0-0, tie going to the last 2 minutes in a football game.
Right.
Doesn't mean it was a great game because they won on the last play.
Right.
You look at the first 195 laps, it was a Kyle Busch show. He probably could have parked for a little bit, gone back out there and still had the lead. It was a real stinker of a race. That track is based off of Michigan, which hosted probably one of the worst races I have ever been to. That was in 1999. Dale Jarrett led, pretty much start to finish. It was the quickest 400-mile race there has ever been. There were 0 cautions that day, and basically, I got in the stands with my father. We watched them race, and it was an hour and a half later, Dale Jarrett won, and I was wondering what happened.
Now, folks, just to clear it up, obviously, if you watch a race, if it has, a disturbing number of cautions, upwards of 10 or so, obviously that's boring. But the same is true of no cautions, because that means that nothing happens.
Right.
Nothing happens. Nothing changes up. Nothing gets in there to mix it up. The cautions is where the strategy comes in.
Yep.
And that's what's important in a race. And the other important thing to note is that Dale Jarrett is an idiot.
Yes. That cannot be stressed enough. He got very lucky winning the championship in 1999. And, beyond that, he kind of putzed along with his career, kind of peaked for about five years or so, and then just bottomed out. I'm glad that he at least parlayed it into a TV deal.
Yeah, well,
he's got something going for him.
He looks terrible in a suit and is probably wearing a piece. So, anyway, so that's our thoughts on California. But moving on, next week we're at Martinsville, Mike. So it's a very different track to California. It's a short track. Yep. It's got the 2 hairpins there. So if you could talk a little bit about what do you expect out of this race?
Sure. Excitement. Finally, 500 laps of excitement, because guys are going to be bumping into each other. They're going to be hitting each other. It's going to be good. You won't see that long cautionless, patches of racing. But what you're also going to see is Denny Hamlin, my disappointment, is going to rebound. I'm going to say going to rebound pretty well this weekend at Martinsville. He has done extremely well the last couple of years. And, I look for him to rebound. I look for Jeff Gordon, someone who traditionally has been good at that, to also rebound. So, a couple more races, my disappointments could be surprises, are on par. The thing you got to factor in is Jimmy Johnson is good at Martinsville. And so, with Denny Hamlin again, you got to beat Jimmy Johnson, before I'm going to count him out. And that happened last week. Now we're going right into Martinsville, which is a great track for him. And, it's basically his show until someone proves him wrong. And
you got to remember that, folks, Jimmy Johnson is what, a 4-time champion in a row now, or 5?
5 up to 5.
5 times in a row. That doesn't happen very much in any professional sport. I think the only other teams to do that are the Celtics and the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah.
And that's pretty nuts. And there's in Jimmy Johnson's case, yes, he's good. He's a very good driver, but there's a lot of luck involved too.
Yeah. A lot of luck. Things going his way at the right time, and you know what? I'd rather be lucky than good.
That's true. A timely caution, some idiot turns his car off on the racetrack.
NASCAR throws, phantom debris cautions,
Yep.
Anything can happen.
Anything to make up that 6-second difference with 2 laps left.
I will say this, my boldest prediction for Martinsville is going to be this. Michael McDowell will get the 3-time champion of the Startin Park trophy. For those of you who don't know, the Startin Park trophy is given out by us to the driver that starts in parks first. Now, I picked him last year, and he almost made me not, get that prediction right, because Todd Bodine was fighting tooth and nail to get that trophy. I had to remind him, whoa, Todd, we don't pay any money. We don't even actually have a physical trophy. We can give you empty beer cans, but
we got plenty of those.
Yeah, we got plenty of those, but we don't got much anything else.
Which to a lot of NASCAR fans actually are trophies.
Also doubles as currency.
Yes, I think it does.
But Mr. McDowell...
5 cents a piece.
5 cents, yeah, and 10 cents in Michigan. Mr. McDowell went out of his way to prove that he is the worst driver in NASCAR today. And he took that trophy for the 2nd time in a row. And I will not be surprised if he gets himself a 3-peat. I usually do a prediction on race day on our Twitter account. And, I'm strongly just going to, like Jimmy Johnson, I will keep picking Michael McDowell until someone proves me wrong, that they are a worse driver than him, or he doesn't even make the race.
It's a brilliant strategy.
So you know what? If he doesn't even make the race, he's got everyone beat. You know? He doesn't even have to start. He just parked and left. You know, and I will say this, he will start and park in record time at Martinsville. He'll probably even be home in time to watch the end of the race from his studio apartment, you know, sitting on his big fat check that he just got.
Well, he is certainly living the dream, Mike. I mean, again, living the dream. He just shows up in a car, races, collects some money. I mean, this happens every week. Speaking of living the dream, we've got one last thing to cover here, and this is, it's about the other co-founder of this blog with Mike is Greg Netherwood, and he is right now running down a dream.
Yep, Greg Netherwood, Running Down a Dream, is a special featurette we're trying to do on the website. Greg has purchased a stock car to race on dirt at Canandaigua Motorsports Park in scenic Canandaigua, New York.
Yeah, very nice place.
It is a very nice place. And so what we want to do is, again, going back to the fans' perspective and what fans are into, we want to show a regular Joe, regular fan, trying to live his dream of, you know, driving. You know, it might not be the high banks of Daytona, but, you know, when he gets out there, it's going to feel like it. You know, he's going to get in that car, he's going to race, you know, race around. And he's literally building it from the ground up. You know, he is doing everything on that car. He's learning it, you know, as he goes. He's not a mechanic in any way. He's just a casual fan.
No, he is not a very smart person at all.
No, not at all. And I'm surprised he has not killed himself yet.
Yeah, just for the record, we do not wish any harm on Greg, but we will not be surprised when it comes naturally.
Yeah, you know, you put him in a car, might as well strap his ass to a can of gas and give him a match. You know, but what we want to do at the website is just kind of follow his progression along. We're posting pictures as he's working on the car, giving updates, and, you know, actually a few weeks here, he hopes to be out there running. So we're going to follow him along all year long. We wish him the best, and let us know. We're always open to sponsorship opportunities with him. We have contact information on the website, so just let us know if you want to get in on this. Then thank you for checking out the site, following us on Twitter, following us on Facebook.
Yep.
And thank you, Jeff, for the time.
Oh, yeah, and definitely. And again, that's the website is www.startnparkblog.com. So if you want to follow them, which you guys definitely should, that's where you need to go. All right? So, peace.